Oh, welcome back. Welcome back. This camera does not look right today. Yes, that's better. Yes. So the time is 1:30. I'm running super late today. Had a bit of a busy morning, but that's okay. Perks of being your own boss. Do what you want. So yeah, I've only had 8 sales since yesterday, but a few of them are alright. So I'm not complaining too much. So first parcel going out the door. Someone bought 40 adapters off me for £113.60. So I need to find them. If there's any up there. Yes. So I have to count them up. So that's the adapters. Dropping them everywhere. 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, I don't mind giving discounts when they're buying that much. Really nice sale, you know. If I could do sort of 4 or 5 of them a day, be laughing, you know. I feel like my tan's starting to come through now as well. A few days later, it starts to really come through. Probably send this as a, as long as it's tracked, as a large letter. Double check. Yes. Okay, large letter. 100 to 250 grams. £2.70. Romeo 48. That is not bad at all. Then I'm trying to work out as well how much I spent on them. Probably, let me get the calculator just to make sure. Yeah, like £5 or something silly. It's not even a lot of money. But obviously I had to buy the adapters like in the thousands to start getting them at sort of pennies each, you know what I mean? So this is why, yeah. This is why it's so hard when buying big items or expensive items to flip. So like this is why I started with the adapters, because you can pick them up for pennies and sell them for pounds. And I'd really love to get to the point where I'm, you know, spending 100 on an item and selling it for, you know, £1,000 or whatever. Or even like 40 quid on an item, selling it for hundreds. Even though it's probably the same profit margins, each sale, the profit amount is going to be a lot more for your time and effort, you know. But the problem is, to get it at the price you need to compete with the next person, you need to be spending hundreds of thousands, or, you know, 10s, 20,000 at a time on one line. So yeah, take the adapters for example. Some of the adapters, it's like, the whole reason I can pick them up for pennies is because I'm buying 2,000 at a time. So when you're buying 2,000 at a time, not only are you getting a better rate from the supplier, but you're also, that box that is coming in, it's going to now be, the price of that is now going to be shared over 2,000 items. So that brings it down to pennies as well. When I've looked in the past, on stuff that sold well on eBay, and I've gone to try and get a supplier for it. Sort of toys, or I've looked into sort of reoccurring items that like people have to buy more of. So like packaging, or like disposable cutlery and cups and stuff like that. People that are just business people that want to buy bulk off me, and they'll keep coming back. When I've looked into stuff like that in the past, it's not been possible because I can't buy enough to make it possible. These people that are selling on eBay and stuff, they're buying containers worth. So therefore it is feasible to get it cheap enough to flip it for a healthy profit, you know, where after they pay their overheads and staff and stuff, they can, and they're, you know, they're still making a decent amount of profit. So one day I'll get there. I can't wait for that day. That's the dream. But yeah, I remember, you know, it's a real learning curve when you're putting time. I remember putting time into, you know, trying to find lines, and it's like, you know, the prices just don't add up, you know, and I'm saying to them, okay, how much, you know, do I need to buy it off you before it gets to this price, where I, you know, where the profit margin will be healthy enough and be worth my time. And yeah, some of them are saying like 20 grand and stuff. So yeah, madness, absolutely madness. That's why a lot of people go to niches and stay in the same industry. You know, if they're selling toys, they stay within toys. If they're selling magnets, they stay within magnets. If they're selling adapters, they stay within adapters. Because then you start dealing with suppliers, and you're not only can your products share a shipment over here, but you can also get better rates because you're buying more of the same supplier. So it's like a double, you know, double whammy, double bubble sort of thing. There's so much knowledge up here that I've learned just by trial and error. I just need to get it, you know, to come out in the right way, so I can share my knowledge, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to do. Share my knowledge. Ultimately, I've made mistakes and done stuff that, you know, you could, if you are trying to go down this journey or whatever, you could not make the same mistakes. But yeah, anyway, back to this order. So yeah, £2.70 covered up to 150 quid. That's good. And that is going to Paul. Shout out to Paul for buying that. I need to get a drink. Let me just run and grab a drink. Oh. Cheers. I've not been not a big fan of that quadruple strength stuff. I didn't realise, I just poured it in there and it was like, blew off my head. Anyway, I had a little, I had a chat with a guy at the post office yesterday. He was telling me, hold on. Yeah, I had a chat with a guy at the post office yesterday. He was telling me he saw the sledgehammers that I bring in, the 5 kg ones. And he was asking me the weight, and I was telling him, oh, it's only 5 kg. I said, I'll put it on the label as 7 just to be safe. He said, oh yeah, because we had problems with the, you know, the bigger ones. And I was like, what do you mean problems? He said, oh, they wouldn't take it. I said, why wouldn't they take it? He said, I don't know, they just wasn't taking it. And then I said, oh, like, I definitely declared the weight right, like, you know what I mean? It was like 15 kg. I put on 16 kg and that. And you see me measuring, I always do over the measurements as well. But I think they was just being funny because, so Royal Mail sometimes, I think Royal Mail collect Parcel Forces stuff or something like that. Sometimes they work together, and I'll send it with Parcel Force. And when I walked in there the other day with a sledgehammer, there was a Royal Mail guy in there who I recognise. And he was like, oh, I'll save that for the next driver. Picked up one of them you left last week. Nearly did my back in or something. And I said, yeah, oh, mate, yeah, whatever, sort of thing. But yeah, they shouldn't be leaving it behind and, you know, saying they're not taking it. And it was well within weight, height, everything, you know. So it's weird, proper weird. Who knows? Anyway, I think I got one sledgehammer left, and it's what am I doing with this? I think I got one sledgehammer left, and it's a 5 kg one anyway, so shouldn't be no problems. I guess maybe it's just some of the Royal Mail people don't want to make their lives harder, I guess. I don't know. But the guy was telling me at the post office that he had to call up and get them to, you know, come and get it or whatever, Parcel Force. But what I might do is I might just write my number down and just, you know, they can have it there. If there's any issues, give me a bell, you know, I'll come deal with it, you know. Last thing I need is for them to be having issues and getting stuck with some of my orders or whatever, you know. Okay, next order. This one I might just send this with the large letters. So I sold a Wilson's left hand large ladies golf glove. It only sold for just over £6. I'm already in profit on that. I think I'm gonna send it as long as it fits as a large letter. Let's have a look. It's blue and that. Yeah, I've only got a few of these left now. I think this one's used as well. That's why it's so cheap. Yeah, I'll send that. Send that as a large letter. Applying postage. Okay, so. Okay, next order is I sold some countersunk magnets. I sold 10 of them, 20mm by 5mm by 5mm. And it sold for just under 20 quid, so that is good. Really good. So 20 by 5. Oh. Alright, this one's got to be wrapped nicely. Make sure it don't stick to nothing in the post. When I first started sending these big magnets, they're very, very strong. And they started sticking to stuff in the post. So like the cages and stuff, and people were sort of getting them like 2 weeks late, 3 weeks late, and it was ridiculous. So yeah, you got to be careful with stuff like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Also, yeah, everything I say on here is allegedly. Alright? Don't believe anything I say. If I say I sent something in the post and it was sticking to stuff, I might be joking. Don't sue me. And that's going to Amy in Red Hill. Shout out to Amy. I tell you what, yeah. Since I've been back, I've been having the best time with my kids. All I kept thinking, yeah, when I was out there was, I just wish I was with my kids. Out there, you know what I mean? But I tell you what, yeah, you realise, like, don't get me wrong, you realise when you travel how big the world is. But you also realise how small it is. Like, 2 hours time I could be in Spain. you know, so I might start just trying to dip out the country for the weekend with like 1 or 2 of my kids at a time. Keep it a bit cheap, you know. Yeah, that'd be amazing. All right, here we go. I've not been looking forward to this one. So I think it's the last rope I'm selling is rope 4, 18-meter one, roughly 18 meters. I had up for like £32. I kept lowering the price, I'm already in profit. And I had up for like £32. And someone last night sent me an offer at 25. And I was like, you know what? I'm taking it. So yeah, we are going to have to get this one in a box. Hopefully I've got a nice big strong box ready for it. Rope 4. Okay, parcel force. I didn't even know you could send parcels 21 kg. I thought you'd have to, yeah, use different couriers, but. Alright. So, 21 kg. Perfect, let's do it. Oh. I don't think that parcel would be that bad, to be honest, but that's probably the worst parcel I've ever had to package. I mean, if I had a massive box, it wouldn't have been so bad. It's just kind of awkward. Every time I was trying to wrap it, it was moving around and that, but got there in the end. It's not pretty, but it'll do. Okay, I'll make sure I don't hurt my back. Ooh. Okay, so I think it's just large letters now. Let's have a look. Yeah. Okay, so I've got 5 large letters. And it is going from Ian to Barbara. Let's get cracking with them. Hope you have a good day, and I'll see you soon.